This was surprisingly a very good episode.
Pokemon! 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 Pokemon!
Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon XY&Z anime discussion. Today, we're going to talk about the Serena becoming Ash episode. But before I get into that, just some extra Pokemon news that I don't really want to make another video about, but Cora scans have come out, and the only thing they revealed is that Magirna's typing is in fact Steel Fairy. They showed us blurred out images of box arts, but what I'm thinking is next month, just in the fashion of not giving us any information whatsoever, which I'm so happy about, it's just going to be silhouettes. And then slightly more detailed silhouettes. Eventually we're going to just get the games out, and then that's when we'll just get a crap load of information, is probably around that time. So anyway, let's jump right into this. I don't think there's really much I can discuss in regards to the other episodes, since I don't think anything was revealed, but we will definitely talk about the trailer that's coming out for the next episode. So anyway, let's jump right into this particular episode review, and the episode starts with Ash training Greninja against Pikachu. Ash gets splashed by water as Electro Ball hits the water. Serena throws him a towel, but he sneezes later, and then it cuts to, surprise, surprise, Giovanni. Didn't think he was going to be in the episode. Oh, but wait. Something isn't right. Giovanni's acting a little too happy, and he's mentioning something about Meowth, almost like Meowth is getting some rewards like chocolate cake. Oh, it's a dream. So, of course, that was a dream. Meowth wakes up with Wobbuffet and Inkay on top of him. And then, of course, they're just talking or whatever. And then we get into the punk rocker, whose name is Jimmy, and is Pikachu. Jimmy is talking about his Pikachu and everything, and of course they're talking about Team Rocket, and of course he's mentioning how much he likes Pikachu, how much he wants to battle at Pikachu, and Team Rocket are like, well, we don't got any Pikachu. I mean, we wish we did, but we don't have a Pikachu. So, of course, they just like, oh, well, whatever it is. So anyway, then it cuts, after the opening, of course, it cuts back to Serena, Clemont and Bonnie. They're getting ready. Ash has been in the tent for a long time for whatever reason. So Ash finally decides to come out. He's like rubbing his eyes, and he goes towards Serena, and he grabs Serena, and then he confesses how he feels about her. No, that's not what happened. Right as Serena thought Ash was going to reveal information, he mentioned something about Pikachu using Iron Tail or whatever, indicating that he's not sick, and everyone's like freaked out. I do like this particular moment. I have to say, I like how when they realized that something is sick, all of them were like freaked out. Clement was like, had a plate with a pot on it or whatever, and he's like juggling it before he sets it down and comes and see how Ash is doing. So they managed to get him back inside the tent. I'm not sure how that happens, especially inside the sleeping bag, but of course he's in the sleeping bag. Serena has water on it, and then Clement and Bonnie decide that they need to go get some human medicine, so they both go, and Serena stays behind with Pikachu and tries to help out Ash, and then of course Serena sends out her Pokemon to help out Ash as well. And then as that's going on, suddenly there's this loud noise or whatever. They're like, what's going on? So Serena goes outside with Pikachu and her Pokemon to see what's going on, and there's this punk rocker, Jimmy, of course, and he's just rocking along, talking about Pikachu with his Pikachu battling. And of course he mentions Ash, just as I speculated. The reason why Serena wears Ash's clothes is because Jimmy wants to battle Ash, particularly particularly from Ash from Pallet Town, and that's who he wants to battle. So of course that's the case. So Serena's a little worried and telling Jimmy he needs to be quiet or whatever. Then they go back. I think Serena was in the process of trying to wake Ash up, but then he's like, "No, I don't want to bother Ash. I really don't want to bother Ash." So then Serena decides to wear the clothes, and then she comes out, and of course, at this particular point, breaks in. Sylveon and Pancham are like, why are you doing this, Serena?" Or whatever the case was in that instance or whatever. But it is interesting, and I saw some comments in regards to this somewhere, that it is kind of weird that Serena was wearing her clothes, and she looked at Ash's clothes, and then when she comes out of the tent, she's wearing clothes. I don't know what that could mean, but it is interesting that that happened. So, of course, Serena gets ready to battle against Jimmy. And, of course, I should note right now that Jimmy's Pikachu really has a lot of energy, as well as Jimmy. So, we see this in the Darda, or who's that Pokemon, with Pikachu, with Jimmy's Pikachu, and it's like Pika 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 Pika, or whatever the Pikachu said. So anyway, Serena decides to battle. Team Rocket are looking on, like, little confused at what's going on, but they're watching along, and maybe they'll catch both Pikachu, I believe is what was being discussed. So of course we get this versus screen, so it's the battle. So Jimmy starts going on his guitar, and Pikachu and his Pikachu is doing very well in comparison to Ash's Pikachu. Then of course it gets to the point where Jimmy's Pikachu uses Dig. So Serena's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," but Pikachu gets Serena's attention, and Serena remembers the gym battle against Clemont. She has Pikachu using Iron Tail on the ground. So after Pikachu uses Iron Tail on it, everyone's happy, but Jimmy's Pikachu is still okay. So then we get this really nice moment that people are comparing it to Yu-Gi-Oh! With Serena dressed as Ash, and then an inner Serena being all excited. Then it cuts to Team Rocket, and we get this child drawing fantasy or whatever it is about Meowth in relation to his dream about getting so much. So then it cuts to Clemont and Bonnie. They got the medicine, they're on their way, and then we get this really hilarious moment where Serena and Bonnie come, or not Serena. Serena and Bonnie come from getting medicine and see Serena. Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. Clemont and Bonnie run into Serena, and they're like, "Serena?" And then Serena's like, "No, no, shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up. Yeah, but what are you wearing?" You know, doing that, telling them to be quiet. And then, of course, she explains what's going on. And they're like, oh, okay. So then, of course, Bonnie's not exactly happy with this or whatever. So, but then they leave, and then Bonnie comes back in the screen and is like, "Good luck, Ash." And then it, like, embarrasses Serena, and she gets all a little embarrassed for that. So Clemont gives Ash the medicine, and Jimmy is still rocking. The battle continues. But then here comes Team Rocket, and I know a lot of people didn't like this, and I realized that this particular moment went on for a very long time. But this was funny, in my opinion, this whole Jesse and James singing in their, like, tuxedos, and they're dressed up, and they actually don't look like Jesse and James, although there was occasional where we can see their real colors. So it's surprising that they can actually wear these outfits, and they don't look like Team Rocket at all, and that it would make sense for them to wear this. And I'm sure there's some music theme going on here that I'm just not grasping, probably because it's a Japanese reference of singers or whatever that Jesse and James are emulating or whatever. But I thought this was pretty funny because it was just very out of nowhere. And like I said, it's just weird that they don't wear these disguises more often. So then, of course, they're just singing or whatever. Meowth comes. This one's kind of more obvious since Meowth is a human, of course. So then all of a sudden it just transitions into the motto. Now a lot of people don't like this, but I really like it. This outside of the lack of surprise on Serena and Jimmy's face at this point, they should have been like, what's going on? And then Team Rocket did their motto. But it was really nice to have this like singing moment that's a reference that's going beyond my head. But it was also nice that right after they transitioned into the motto, I kind of really liked that. It was a really funny moment that I really enjoyed, and it was a nice touching, or it was a nice interesting transition to their motto. Man, I cannot review properly today. Whew. I guess the Pepsi I had at lunch is wearing off probably. So anyway, Serena's all like a little upset or whatever because Team Rocket have realized that it is Serena. They're like a twerp girl or whatever, twerpette or whatever the Japanese Jari girl or whatever it is. And Jimmy's all like Johnny boy, Jari girl or whatever. And so they're a little confused. So the Pikachus, they try to escape, but with no avail. So of course they're going along and driving away or whatever it is. And then of course it gets stopped by an attack, and of course once you saw it you knew immediately what was going to happen. And of course Ash had recovered and he has Greninja. So then of course Ash exercises and gets ready to battle. Serena throws Ash's cap, he puts it on, and then they go and battle. And Team Rocket at this point are like, well, we might as well try, even though we're going to fail most likely. Although Jesse, I believe, is taking this more in stride than James and Meowth are, based on these images that I'm looking at. So then, of course, they send out their Pokemon. And then, of course, it's just a battle between Greninja and Serena's Pokemon. And then, of course, Jimmy watches the battle. And then, of course, basically Pikachu get free. And then, of course, they blast off Team Rocket. And then Jimmy's all like giving a talking to Serena and mentions that her Pokemon's moves and combos and what she did with Pikachu meant that she was a really good trainer. So it was really nice to see. And of course, then Jimmy starts rocking out, of course, and then Ash wants to battle him, but of course Ash is really hungry, so then it cuts. So then Serena like compliments Jimmy for some reason, and then it basically ends at a dinner scene. And that's basically the end of the episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed this. I like the energy. Pika, 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 Pika. Or whatever Pikachu did, you know. Interesting move set for this particular Pikachu. So it's Quick Attack, Thunder Punch, Dig, and Thunderbolt. There we go. Anyway, it was a very interesting episode, and there have been a little bit of criticisms in this particular episode. I already mentioned one with Team Rocket singing and thinking it was too long. I realized it was too long, and the thing was, it made sense that it was so long because it was like, oh, what are you doing, Team Rocket? But the one thing that they didn't do properly is give Jimmy and Serena reactions at this point, at that particular moment, and I think that would have alleviated how long it was or whatever. But I still like the transition from them singing with whatever reference they were using to into the motto, and it was very nice. But also, a lot of people are criticizing that why did Ash heal so quickly? It was only like a few minutes, and then all of a sudden Ash is all healed and ready. Well, the thing is, earlier in the episode when Serena was putting those damps, I think at that particular moment Ash's fever broke. You know how sometimes when a fever has broken, at least in fictional examples, it means that they're on the road to recovery. And you have to realize that this is Pokemon and not real life. We're talking about something that's based off of the games where you can have your paralyzed, poisoned, burned Pokemon, pretty much animals that would probably be dead in real life, be given to a Pokemon Center nurse, putting it in a machine, and after a few seconds, fully healed of all of its problems, with the difference of Pokerus. Pokerus was one of those things that you couldn't heal, it just had to go away on its own. Although Pokerus was definitely a useful concept within the game. So yeah, it was like, well, of course, Ash would heal quickly. We're talking about a series of amazing things where surely human medical advances have gone so far that someone can heal within a few minutes. Now, I don't think Ash was fully 100% healthy. I just think he was well enough that he could have done what he did without, putting too much strain on him or whatever. And of course, it would probably just be an instance where Ash needed to get like maybe a few more hours of sleep or whatever. So I don't think it was impossible, given that this is Pokemon and we're dealing with creatures that can literally kill each other without actually killing each other. So I'm not really sure I see the criticism for that, but this was very decent. I really liked this episode. It's been a very good episode, even though it was filler. It was one of the better fillers that I've ever seen. So I definitely approve of this particular episode. So let's go ahead and jump right into the next episode. And I think that's it for this particular video because there's not a lot. I do expect Pokemon Fan probably to happen within 4, 5, 6 days. So look forward to that. So let me get to the preview here of the next episode, which is Alon versus Ash, Mega Greninja versus Mega Charizard, or did I say Mega Greninja? Yeah, I made a mistake on that. I said Mega Greninja in one of my videos, but I meant Ash Greninja or Greninja versus Mega Charizard. So let's go ahead and talk about this. And this looks really nice. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this since this is a couple of days before my birthday. So of course we see Clemont and he's showing us, and we're getting these devices, those things on the wrist, and I will talk about this in a moment, but yeah, so we're getting the things on the wrist with Greninja and Ash. So then of course we have Alon, he's out there, Alon looks out, there's Ash of course. Then we see Noivern using Boom Burst, and this is really amazing. Then we see Alon commanding, what appears to be a Matang. Really? Alon has a Matang? And then, of course, we see like a smaller version of Clembot or whatever. I have no idea what that's supposed to be about, but I'm sure we'll find out. But it does look like a miniature version of Clembot, but I guess we'll have to see. Maybe it's for the referee. Maybe when Clemont is battling Ash, they need a proper referee, and that's what this miniature Clembot is for. Or maybe it's supposed to analyze what's going on, so I guess we'll have to find out. And then, of course, we get this moment, and of course, I'll show it to you, and it's like something's happening with Ash. And I feel like it mirrors kind of similar what happened to Goku when he's fighting Android 19, I believe. No. Because Cell is also considered... No, wait. No, never mind. So it was Android 19. My bad. Sorry, when Goku was dealing with the heart virus or whatever. Sorry, if you don't know Dragon Ball. But yeah, it kind of looks like that, and it looks like Ash is... I almost said Goku. It looks like Ash is struggling with whatever's going on, so it's like he is having issues that needs to be resolved, because one of the new summaries said that something happens to Ash. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. So, and of course we get Charizard using attack against Ash Greninja. And that's pretty much the end of the particular episode. And we, in the after sponsored part, but I'm not going to get to that, of course, we actually see Ash sending out Noivern and Alon sending out Matang. So I feel like this is a really decent episode. Now, there have been a little bit of speculations, and this will probably. There's been speculation going on what's going on with this particular episode in regards to the upcoming episode's preview in regards to Sawyer, but I don't think Sawyer is going to appear in this episode because we don't have any evidence for it. I've been arguing this in the forums. Sawyer and Ash are battling again with two different Sawyer and Alon are battling Ash in two different locations because not only are the buildings different, but the overall appearance of the background is different. And what I mean is, it's either Alon or Sawyer where we get these windows, where we get windows, and then we see the entrance to the building, and that's where like Serena and Clemont are, I believe, or whatever. But in the other building, it's just windows. Not only that, but there's also a balcony on one of the buildings. Now, the only way that Sawyer is in this episode is if they're taking place in two different battlefields, because the building is in the same direction. Charizard is coming from this part of the screen and going up against Charizard, who's going against this part of the screen. This way. No, wait. You know what I'm talking about. See the upcoming episodes, Praise. You know what I'm talking about. Charizard and Sceptile are attacking from the same place, and the building is still in that same direction. But when we see Sawyer, we always see our trees behind him. But when we see a lawn, we actually see a fenced wall. Or vice versa, if I did that wrong. But that's what I mean. So if they're in the same location, then that means there has to be two battlefields, and one takes place in front of the building, kind of, sort of, and the other battlefield takes place in the behind the building sort of location. So that's the only way that Sawyer's going to appear. Speaking of which, based on the upcoming episode's preview, it was confirmed that Ash and Greninja were wearing those wrist things when they were battling Sawyer, especially when Greninja mastered or controlled its Ash Greninja form, and we actually got to see Ash Greninja in full with the giant water shuriken on Greninja's back. This means that, of course, it's probably going to be a while before we get that. Now, here's the thing. If Sawyer does appear, and Greninja somehow masters and controls its form where the shuriken is on the back, why is it that it happened with Sawyer but not with the lawn and later on Diantha? So I feel like if Sawyer is 110% confirmed not to be in this episode, but we'll just have to wait and see, I'm pretty sure we'll have to wait until some other episode, which is good because I didn't want a carbon copy of the previous Ash versus Alon episode. So I think that's all I have to say, except one final comment in regards to Noivern. I hope Noivern does very well in this particular episode, and I will do highlights for that episode. I will record my reaction and my commentary. I'll try and commentate over the episode, and I will cut out parts and just do highlights. Of course, I will do the same thing I did in the last highlights with Serena's Master Showcase, and I'll try and put images at that particular time when it happens. So I guess we'll just have to wait until then to see what's going on, and I definitely cannot wait until the episode comes out. Like I said, I hope Noivern does very well, maybe even learns a new move or uses another new move, but whatever the case is will happen. So it's really cool that we're seeing Alon with other Pokemon. Hopefully this might imply a future plot going on after Team Flare, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say that we know right now. No titles were revealed, at least last time I checked. No information outside of the movie trailers, although not much was shown in the new movie trailers outside of showing Ash's current party that he currently has right at this moment, not at the time he has at the movie. Although that might be the same thing. Magearna looks like it's dying in one of the trailers, but outside of that, there's really not a whole lot going on in the trailer. So there's not really much to discuss in regards to that. So I will see you most likely next in regards to Pokemon Fan, if it comes out this month. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.